What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave. I hope everybody on the East Coast, first and foremost, I want to talk about you guys on the East Coast. I hope everybody's hunkered down and staying warm. Quick shout out to my boy, Joe Cronin, who is going through like a horror movie of friggin' weather out there. Lights are flickering on and off. Apparently, it's really nasty outside. I hope everybody is staying warm, staying safe. Make sure you have batteries, lights, supplies, all that good stuff. This is not weather to be fucking around with, so hope everybody's good, all right? Raw was affected by this big time. This is your daily focus, and this is a Raw review. I didn't think there was going to be a Raw review. I didn't think we were going to do it at all, and now, right now, the state of the Joe Cronin show is up in the air. We do not know when we'll be returning to doing live Raws, hopefully next week, but you never know. But the Raw reviews will continue here, and I will try to figure out a way to maybe go live myself if an extended absence is happening. But we don't know at this point. So, with weather and other things, who knows? But Raw did happen, and it was a different Raw. It was completely different than anything else than we thought was going to be seeing. It was quite friggin' good, to be honest. Look, I understand. There's a lot of hatred. I understand that there's a lot of anger. I'm also starting to understand it's a gross overreaction by a lot of people. I mean, I had a knee-jerk reaction to it. But to be fair, a lot of my problems were not with the fact that Daniel Bryan lost or that Roman Reigns won. Because look, Daniel Bryan should have won only if Seth Rollins was going to be the champion. That was my stance the whole time. But with Roman Reigns winning, I didn't have a problem with it. It's the way he won. The way they booked it, because it was insulting. It just was not done well. That being said, this Raw, to me, went a long way in fixing a lot of the problems that people, and concerns, addressing the concerns, I think is a better phrase, that people are having about this main event and this WrestleMania. They set up some things. I got to say, I would love to see a Raw like this more often. Show some matches that were really good, and then do interviews and stuff within the offices of WWE. I mean, geez, they can do this every so often. Not too often, not once a month or anything like that, but maybe once every 8 weeks, every 2 months, something like that, 2-3 months. And it would work. They can do so much within the offices, too. I mean, it can go so many ways. I would love to have seen more with Dean Ambrose roaming the halls of the home office. That would have been cool. We'll get to all that in a moment. But I just want to say, I hope that you guys actually watched Raw and didn't just let your anger get to you to the point where you weren't going to watch it at all and not giving it a chance, because I feel you're missing out. I watched this, and you got to remember something. I watched this Raw with skepticism in my eyes, with anger still there, resonating. I also rewatched the Rumble. The entire Rumble, not just the match. First off, what WWE did as far as showing the Rumble and the triple threat match. Some people are pissed off at this. They're calling it a slap in the face and all this stuff. Like, oh, how dare they give it away after you paid for it, whatever. Look, I don't have a problem with it. They had to do something extreme because of the weather, and it kind of puts everything out there. They marketed the Rumble as a controversial moment. They played it up very well. I really feel the interviews really went a long way of addressing all the concerns and anger. I really enjoyed what they did, to be completely honest. So the show opens up, and controversy is the name of the game. Michael Cole, Booker T, sitting behind, and you can see the monitors in the background. It was just a really cool thing to see, because we don't get to see that very often. It reminds me back in the 90s, in the early 90s, when Vince and other people would do little reports from the control room, and you'd see all the control room stuff in the back. It just kind of hit me from a nostalgia perspective for a moment. I really enjoyed that. Then they shoot to JBL on the roof, which I gotta say was pretty fucking funny, because he did not look happy. I know he didn't mind, because what people don't know about JBL is he's actually a mountain climber. I guess if there's something called a professional mountain climber, he would be that. He's scaling the world's tallest peaks and planting WWE flags on them. This is a bad dude. And so it was pretty funny to see him up on top of the building saying he got there with a Sherpa. I thought that was hysterical. I enjoyed that. I thought it was kind of funny. So they go right from there and they show the triple threat match. And I did watch it again, and it's still amazing. In fact, I think I may have undersold it, if that's possible. That match was so goddamn good. It's not even funny. It shows you the absolute very best of what the WWE can offer. It really can. And Brock Lesnar didn't have to do much other than what he's done before. Just suplex people and look like a monster. He only hit about 4 different moves throughout the entire match, but it's all he needed to do because it's Brock Lesnar. And the fact that he could take the punishment that he does is what makes him so special. And that match was amazing. And 90% of it is because of what Seth Rollins did. And I mean, that's the reality. It was just absolutely amazing. Do a quick promo for Thursday. Live Thursday SmackDown casket match between Kane and Daniel Bryan. I'm going to talk about that match in a little bit because I think it could be something really cool. So Seth Rollins does his interview. This guy's a fucking star. Plain and simple. Seth Rollins is a star. He is a main event man. How he handled himself during this interview was so impressive to me. He talked about so many things. He corrects Michael Cole and calls the move that he hit, the Phoenix Splash, which was awesome. I thought the way he said it was brilliant because I had it in my back pocket. And you know what? I didn't think he hit it that well when I saw it. He didn't hit it that bad. He hit it kind of low on his face. But still, it wasn't that bad. He didn't hit it all that horribly. And I hope he busts it out a little bit more often because that is a pretty move. I like it more than the Red Arrow, and I love the Red Arrow. But I think the Phoenix Splash, or as I like to call it, the Ark of God, which I really hope that they would, let's hashtag Ark of God to Seth Rollins and his version. That's what it should be called. I know he won't because he has such respect for New Japan and all that, and that's where it originated from. So that's really cool. But that interview I really enjoyed. Seth Rollins showing he's not going anywhere. More than likely, he's still going to be relegated to Randy Orton. But that may not be a bad thing. I think a good feud between these two would be a good thing. And remember, he still has the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he could cash it in whenever. I think it's a possibility with everybody. By the way, everyone's going to be on SmackDown. Lesnar's now going to be on SmackDown. Everyone's going to be there. Don't be surprised if something breaks down and Rollins cashes it in. The WWE could do something like this. I would have said that was more likely before this Raw, but now after watching the Raw and more importantly, watching the Reigns-Lesnar interview, which I will get to, I don't think there's as much necessity for it as there was before it. Once again, you got to go back to the Rumble match and you have to kind of watch it again, even though some of it is hard to sit through after Bryan gets eliminated. This was not a bad Rumble match. And the more I watched it again, and it just wasn't. It was a good Rumble match, plain and simple. And I'll talk about that more in a moment. The interviews were what made the show tonight, and it was completely watchable and entertaining. Now, granted, I didn't have to sit through the entire 3 hours because I watched it on delay later on, so I was able to move through whatever I wanted. I didn't have to worry about commercials. So that made it a little more bearable, but still completely enjoyable. The Lesnar interview was next. Seth was not leaving the set, so they still teasing the Lesnar-Rollins rivalry. I'm thinking because of all the feuds they're setting up with Lesnar beyond just Roman Reigns, I believe there's a possibility that maybe Lesnar's not going anywhere. Maybe all of this action that he's getting right now is kind of reinvigorating him. Maybe he's not going to leave. And going to the UFC right now, I don't think is a very good move anyway. He's old. I'm not thinking he's worried about getting hurt, but I'm worried about him getting hurt. And why not spend the next 2-3 years just putting the final stamp on your legacy in the WWE? Why not? You're going to be in the main event all the time. You're going to be in the biggest type of matches. Why not? You're going to get paid, and you're not going to put as much strain on your body. Why not? Stay here. Because if you deliver matches like you did at the Royal Rumble, Brock, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine, buddy. I can deal with not seeing you all the time. I still don't want you holding the belt and not being on TV, but I can deal with you being a part-timer if this is what you're going to deliver when you're here. So this interview is awesome. Seth knocks over the chair, and Brock just kind of laughs it off. Heyman, once again, I mean, Brock said some good stuff. God damn, do I appreciate Paul Heyman. Heyman explains why he says Brock's name the way he does. It's the first time we've got an explanation for that, and it was awesome. It's because he's a once-in-a-lifetime athlete. And you know what? He's not wrong. Paul is not wrong on this. Brock is a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle. Is he deserving of the treatment that he's gotten with the belt and not being on TV? Probably not. He's not that special, but he is a special attraction, the likes of which we may have never seen before and probably will never see again. He is special. There's no question. No question. This guy is good. He's good at whatever he does. He can't really talk, but he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to. This interview was powerful. There was psychology. It was something building things that were bigger, and they did it without wrestling. They only showed the Rumble and the Triple Threat, and the rest was talking, and I felt it was completely entertaining. Completely entertaining. I really did enjoy this Raw more than I thought I was going to. And remember, I had every reason, just like the rest of you, to absolutely shit on this Raw, to hate it. I had every reason. But looking at all the message boards and looking at all the chats, yes, there are still a lot of people, cancel the network. But I think a lot of this has just become a fad. It's become a trend on Twitter. I don't know how much actual hatred lies amongst a big majority of people. They're still going to go back to Reigns isn't ready. Reigns isn't ready. You know what? He's closer to being ready than we want to give him credit for. Because you have to go off of what he's done lately. You can't judge him for the entire time that he's been built, because let's remember, he's been built like this since last Royal Rumble. So it's a long time. And the reality is, over the past couple of months since he's returned from injury, he has been better. Yes, he still flubs some interviews. But you know what? The stuff he delivers on this show, and I'll talk about that in a moment as well, shows me this kid does have it. He's got it. He's okay. He's going to be fine. And the WWE will go on. So all you people out there, the WWE's dead. It's over. They're gone. This is the beginning of the end. No. No, stop. Stop. No, that's just ignorant. That's really dumb. It's really, really dumb. No, it's not. The reality is the numbers from the people who subscribed to unsubscribed from the WWE Network look to be, and this is unconfirmed, it's just things that people are reporting, around 50 to 70,000. That is not a bad number, and I'll tell you why. You might be freaking out. Like, oh man, they lost that many. If you remember yesterday, when I was talking to Ed Crowley, I was telling him if the number is between 200 and 300,000 subscribers leaving the network, then they have a problem, because that number is significant. 70,000 is well within the tolerance that they were expecting for people to unsubscribe. Why is that, do you ask? Well, real simple. They know that their value over pay-per-view is very significant. In fact, you're saving $40 or $50 by just subscribing to the network for a month. So they knew a whole hell of a lot of people were going to be subscribing just to watch the Royal Rumble. In fact, I would venture to guess that they probably got 100,000 extra subscriptions just for the Rumble, because anybody who wanted to watch it that had access to the network would be ignorant to pay pay-per-view prices, plain and simple. And the fact that now this was the first pay-per-view available in England. So I'm going to venture to say they got 100,000 new subscribers just from the Royal Rumble alone, okay? Yes, this trend was scary, the cancel the network trend. But if the numbers are correct and they only lost 70,000, I guarantee you that was within the tolerance of what they figured they were going to lose, because there were people who are going to pay the $10 this month and have their network access until the end of the month. They got their pay-per-view, and they will cancel. They were going to cancel anyway, whether the Rumble was good or bad. They were going to cancel. There is a good majority of people who was going to cancel and then resubscribe in March for the fucking WrestleMania. Why not? Nobody wants to watch Fastlane, so you don't need to pay the $10 for it. I think it's kind of dumb. You might as well pay for it anyway, because if you don't, that means you've missed out on a month and some change of NXT, which is, look, I hate to shield the network, but for everybody to continue to shit on the network, and this is how we're going to get back at the WWE for not giving us Daniel Bryan, you're being whiny fucking babies. It's such a temper tantrum thing to do. Yes, it's well within your right as a consumer to do that, and I respect it, and you know what, anybody who does it, that's completely fine. But to whine and go on these tirades about it, it's what we deserve, we need Bryan. No, stop. Come on. Stop being goddamn kids over this thing. I understand that there are a lot of kids that do love it, but anybody who is that young, they like Roman Reigns and fucking John Cena anyway. So what's your excuse if you're being a complete whiny baby? And I think that was my phone. I'm not going to bury you for being upset about the product. You have every right to be upset, and you have every right to unsubscribe if that's what you want to do. However, you are missing out on a lot of really good content on the WWE Network if you are a wrestling fan. Period. If I'm going to get 4 or 5 NXTs a month, including every 6 to 8 weeks, get a NXT Evolution, that's worth $10 alone to me. Not to mention all the countdowns, not to mention the rivalry series, not to mention the Monday Night Wars, and this new 24/7 friggin' behind-the-scenes thing they're doing. There are so much good content that comes out on the network. It really is a value at what you're getting. And you can call me a shill. You can call me a mark for the network. I don't really give a crap. I am a guy who likes economy. I'm a guy who likes fucking good deals. And this is a good deal. If you like wrestling, plain and simple, it's a good deal. There's enough there to justify anything because you get the pay-per-views. And yeah, Rumble didn't go our way. Maybe not. Maybe Bryan, there's no question Bryan shouldn't have been eliminated the way he was, but it doesn't matter. He was. It's over. Let's move on. Let's see what they're going to do with him. You got to let this thing play out, okay? Rant over on that. Apologize. Sorry. So the Lesnar interview went on, and that was great. I really enjoyed what they did with it. Now they showed the entire Rumble in its entirety, and I said this earlier. The Rumble was pretty damn good. I mean, especially the first more than half of it. Pretty good. We had Wyatt. We had all of these guys. We had good returns. We had nice spots. It was very enjoyable to watch. Then Bryan gets eliminated in a bullshit manner. There's no question about that. Should not have been eliminated in that way. I don't think there's any question. But they did. They decided to go with it. Reigns did not look bad in this Rumble. Reigns is an athlete. Here's what I'm starting to realize about that. I don't think anybody, including myself, has given Roman Reigns as much credit as he deserves for being a very, very good athlete. Very good athlete. Was it a little insulting that they had to bring The Rock out to try to give him the rub? Yeah. Do I blame him for trying it? Absolutely not. Because they have a bond as family, for one. And, you know, hearing Roman Reigns, which is the next segment, is his interview, hearing him talk about his family and hearing him talk about the way he does, it's really quite incredible to me. If we get this Roman Reigns weekly talking like this, with that type of emotion and that type of steady control and not being shticky and not being, believe that and suffering succotash and all of that, if he is this guy, he's going to be a star. Because this was great. His responses were fantastic. His reaction to being handpicked. Kudos to the WWE for this year, not just doing what they did last year and calling everyone whiny babies, for acknowledging the concerns of people, acknowledging the fact that Roman Reigns is a handpicked guy. And his response to it was brilliant, by the way. If I was handpicked, thanks for the opportunity. And then he talks about how all it was is an opportunity. That's it. That's all it is. And it's up to him to go out and perform. And if he doesn't, guess what? His spot will get taken. If he is that bad, his spot's going to get taken. But there's still going to be a contingency of hatred for him. And while we may not want to hear this, if they get the same thing out of Roman Reigns than they got for John Cena, they're going to take it all day long, because Cena has been very popular, and yes, there is a good group of people who have hated on Cena and who always hate on Cena, and they're justified for doing so. But at the same time, Roman Reigns, I feel, is better than Cena in the ring. I don't feel he is as limited, especially now, as John Cena is. So I think more time that goes on, people are going to start to see that. Also, something more important to think about. How about this fact? That Roman Reigns is not going to be pigeonholed into being a superface forever like John Cena. Roman Reigns will be able to go heel. In fact, he's going to go heel at some point. Cena couldn't. Reigns is not going to have that same handcuff. I do not believe. Because I think that the era that Reigns is going to be dominant is going to be stronger than the era in which Cena was dominant. Because let's face it, it was a time of transition. Cena was the top guy in a time of transition. There was guys that were not going to be staying on top or couldn't because of injuries. Guys like Edge and Jericho who were on their way out at some point and becoming part-timers during a good portion of his career. Guys like Triple H and Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, Batista, Mark Henry, people who were not going to be – these were the standard bearers, the flag bearers, The Rock even, the guys who set the tone of the WWE for so many years. They were on the downsides, the twilights of their career. This time with Roman Reigns, yes, there is still a few guys that are heading out right now, but there's a hell of a lot more guys coming up right now than there was when Cena was on the rise. Reigns has the advantage of having Ambrose, Rollins, Daniel Bryan still in his early 30s. All of these guys down at NXT. Ziggler, the Wyatts. I mean, Jesus, there are plenty of people that are going to help raise him to a higher level. Cena didn't have that. He had Edge. He had Orton. He had these type of guys. But the talent pool, the depth was not there. It wasn't there as far as that elite amount of talent that I think Roman Reigns is going to have. Because not only does he have all these guys that I just listed, but he's got a bunch of guys down in NXT that are coming up that are going to be just as good. Kevin Owens, when he comes up, he's a difference maker. Sami Zayn, he's a difference maker. If they decide to go with Kenta and Finn Balor and Adrian Neville as top stars, any three of those guys can work with Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns isn't overly big. There is more positives here than we originally thought. And if you think about it rationally and not like a fucking mark and not like someone who's losing their minds over things that we can't control anyway, it's not as bad as we originally thought. Look, I still have reservations over Roman Reigns, but I'm not about to jump off the roof because of it. And you want to cancel the network, that's fine, but we all know you're going to buy it again at WrestleMania time because I feel they're doing a good job to building it back up. So that's my opinion on that. Roman Reigns represented himself so well during this interview. He really did. You watch it, and you're going to see it for yourself. Pretty damn good stuff. Next, they show Cena and Rusev for Fastlane with probably the worst reason for a feud of all time. Rusev just takes the microphone, and they bump into each other, and now they're having a match at Fastlane. And which I don't even know. They're going to build this over the next 4 weeks, I guess. And then are they going to actually have a full-on match? Is it just going to be a double count-out or something like that? And then they're going to do the exact same match at WrestleMania? I can't think that that's going to be the case. Something else is going to take place for Fastlane that's going to change that match a little bit. We don't know what. There you go, people. Do you need any clear definition, clear proof, evidence that Cena may be on the way out? Look where he's going to be slated for WrestleMania. Mid-card. This is a mid-card match. It's a mid-card match with possibilities of elevating a younger guy. This is exactly what people want to see. This is what all the smarks, all the guys who think they know wrestling, this is what they clamor for. This is what the role of an elder statesman, of a top star, let alone the top star for 10 to 12 years like John Cena's been. This is exactly what you want to see him do. Use your power to elevate another guy, and that's what they're going to do. Even if Cena beats Rusev, which wouldn't be a bad thing, and I think Wyatt is becoming evidence of that now because we're starting to see bigger things for Wyatt. You can lose to Cena on a big stage, and it's not going to hurt you, especially with all the dominance that Rusev has had. Rusev has lost matches. No, he hasn't been pinned, but he's got to get pinned by somebody. Why not Cena? Fuck it. I mean, if Cena beats him, it probably won't be for the title, so Rusev will still hold his United States Championship. This is not a bad thing. This is not a bad thing at all. It's a win-win. It's a win-win no matter how they go. Maybe Rusev beats Cena. Maybe Rusev beats Cena, and that's the thing that puts Cena down for a while. And when Cena comes back, maybe he does his heel turn. Who knows? Next, they show that Sting will have a face-to-face confrontation at Fastlane with Triple H. Now, we may not see Sting until then. There's a very good possibility, especially now. That may not be a terrible thing either. Can't wait for this confrontation. I think it'll be really cool. And maybe Lesnar comes out and gets involved. Maybe The Undertaker comes out and gets involved. There are so many ways that they can go with this. It's not even funny. Is The Rock going to get involved? Is other legends going to get involved with this authority angle? There are so many ways to go with it, and they're all interesting. So, look, the options that the WWE had before the Rumble, guess what? Most of them are still there, including altering the main event if they have to. Give it time. We got 63 days or whatever. Give it time. Come on. What is it? Oh, yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the newest member of the Hall of Fame, the Celebrity Wing. This will make some of your heads explode because, celebrities. It's the Celebrity Wing. You have to have this type of involvement with celebrities. You got to have it. It's totally fine. And to be honest, guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Drew Carey, Bob Barker, and all the other celebrities, especially in the 80s, Cyndi Lauper, they all deserve to be in there because they were important in building the WWE. They work hand in hand. Especially with Schwarzenegger being a fucking politician on top of it. Schwarzenegger belongs. I'm totally fine with that. In the Celebrity Wing. There's nothing wrong with it. The WWE Hall of Fame, while some people want to call it a joke, it is the most legitimate wrestling Hall of Fame there is because all the big wrestlers that need to be in there are there. They've taken care of that. They're there. There are plenty of great wrestlers that are there. And then there's the entertainment factor as well. It's all covered. It's legit. Stop whining about that too. Oi. Dean Ambrose. Once again using Dean Ambrose. I absolutely love this. Walking through the snow to get to Stamford. That's hysterical. He just walks into the company. I think the door was supposed to be locked when he knocked on it too. My wife was like, why did he knock on the door if he could just open it? We found that pretty funny. Ambrose is unburyable. Unburyable. This guy is awesome. And he does a little interview talking about how he got there. He almost lost a finger and all this stuff and how he's refocusing for his road to WrestleMania. All these top guys, Reigns, Rollins, Bryan, Ambrose, and I'm sure Wyatt as well, they're all going to be still looking like they're going towards a main event spot at WrestleMania. That's pretty friggin' exciting if you ask me. Jesus. Come on. Who knows what they're going to do with Ambrose? Maybe we'll get Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. Maybe we'll get the finish to that feud. Huh? Who knows? Maybe Dean Ambrose will get into the main event somehow. He's wormy like that. Hey, you just walked from Hartford to Stamford. Why not? I fucking love it. I love it. I thought it was hysterical. Daniel Bryan's interview, and this was the one I was waiting for, and they saved it towards the end. I really wanted to hear what they were going to do with Daniel Bryan. I have a more clear focus of what the plan is with him in some regards. He talks about failing. He uses the word about how he failed. I like that. He also talks about the disappointment of seeing Roman Reigns win the Rumble. And basically because it was not him. He talks about all these things, and he also goes out of his way to put over Roman Reigns, which I don't mind. Daniel Bryan is not the one. He's not CM Punk, okay? He's not. As far as I know, he is not CM Punk. You've got to remember, this is a guy who's been punished over and over by the WWE for multiple different things, and he is stuck with the company for some reason. Because the reality is he could be like AJ Styles. He could travel the world and do his thing, just like AJ, and get paid a hell of a lot of money for it. He can go to New Japan and be a top star. There's no question about that. But he doesn't. He stays in WWE. You have to ask yourself, why? The pay can't be that much different. It really can't. So there has to be something else to where he enjoys being there. What is so wrong about that? Daniel Bryan's going to have a premier spot at WrestleMania. He might even find a way to get in to the main event. So why are we freaking out? Because, I want Daniel Bryan. If I don't get Daniel Bryan, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cancel my subscription. Oh, come on. Come on. It's not like he's not there. This guy's still coming off of injury. There could be a myriad of reasons. And you have every right to be upset if you want to be upset. Be upset. I don't care. But I'm tired of all the whining and crying and social media over it. Let's fucking deal with it. Just watch it and see where this goes. See where it goes. Should he have been eliminated the way he was? No. But come on. Come on. This is pretty cool. He's got an opportunity to, on Thursday, to end the feud with Kane once and for all. There's a possibility he loses this match and goes away. Maybe that's how they decide to bury, for lack of a better term, this whole situation, is take Bryan off TV, and maybe he needs a little more time to heal. Or maybe he goes over strong on Kane and Kane goes away for a little while. Maybe this is the end of Kane's run for a good period of time. Maybe Daniel Bryan stamps his name right into the main event picture yet again with a decisive victory against Kane. Who knows? There's a good possibility. So I enjoyed the interview that he did. I thought it was telling. I thought it was genuine. I enjoyed it. It was a good interview. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar going face-to-face in an interview. Wow. Wow. Heyman takes control of the interview right from the jump. And once again, there has never been a greater talker in the history of wrestling than Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is phenomenal at everything he does. He elicits emotion. Did you see the chills he put on Roman Reigns when he was talking to him? The pauses that Roman Reigns had before he responded, it was brilliant. And it showed me that Roman Reigns has the depth to be able to handle himself on the mic. There's no question about that. He proved it with this interview. Does one interview make a career? No. But it goes to show you there's something here. And he's shown enough in the ring, too, that there's a package here. This guy is the real deal. And by the way, tell me you didn't like what you saw when he got face-to-face with Brock Lesnar. There's the size is not that much difference. We know that there's athleticism by both guys. Roman Reigns is a legitimate threat to Brock Lesnar, plain and simple. I loved the closing line of the night. Absolutely loved it. I'm not like Paul. This is from Brock Lesnar. I'm not like Paul. I don't respect you. And Roman Reigns, but you will. That was fucking cool. Come on, that was cool. Yeah, am I saying that partially because I wouldn't mind having, copious amounts of sex with Roman Reigns? That's for you to decide. What? What? What did I say? What did I say?
Turning gay on me now?
I'm not turning gay. There might have been a piece there forever. Who knows? I'm not. Look, if only one guy could turn me gay, that's not bad because there's a lot of people watching who are a hell of a lot more gay than that will never admit it. I'm okay with admitting that one guy can drill me, okay? And that one man is Roman Reigns. And there was other guys, but now they've gotten older. I needed someone to replace David Boreanaz. Hey! I needed someone to replace him, and it's Roman Reigns. It's okay. Yeah. Anyway, I really enjoyed the Raw. I thought it was a good one. I'll give it a 7.5. For no wrestling, for just seeing replays of the night before, I feel that it was carried well by all the interviews, by all the promos. I felt it was well carried. It was very entertaining. I might even go as high as 8 because I was thoroughly entertained through the entire show. And maybe part of it was because I wanted to see how they were going to explain. But that shows me there's enough there to carry this forward. 60 some odd days left to WrestleMania. Give it time. Give it time. Let's not freak out. This is not like last year. I'm after watching the Royal Rumble and watching last year's, this isn't like last year's. And you know what? It's not worse than last year's either. You can't say it. It's a lie. It's just a fallacy. I don't even know if anybody out there who has an opinion of it can be that strong when you go back and really look at it. Because it wasn't a bad Rumble. And yes, okay, Bryan got fucking screwed. Who cares? It happened. They gave everything they could to fix it as well as they will. Not fix it, but to make up for it in a sense. We all knew logically. We all knew in the back of our heads. And all the different scenarios that I put out and Joe Cronin put out and all these guys put out, every single one of us would go back to, but Reigns could still easily win this thing because of how he's been built over the last year. We all knew it was coming. So what the fuck's the problem? The guy is nowhere near as bad as people want to say. Okay? That's just how it is. And with all the love there is for Daniel Bryan, and it's very well deserved, it doesn't necessarily mean that nobody else could take his place. And Reigns can be that guy, especially if it's done like they did tonight on Raw. If they're able to do it that type of way, build that type of story with Brock Lesnar and deliver a halfway decent match, which I think they're very capable of doing, because it's going to be physical, then I think we're in for a treat. So enjoy the ride, stop the whining, and have some fucking fun. It's wrestling, folks. It's wrestling. Enjoy it. Okay? That's all I got. Thanks for joining me once again right here on Dead on Dave Productions. This is your daily focus. Make sure you check out all my merchandise. Sure, there's a gun. Yeah, I got it on again because I'm just so sexy. I have to put myself on my chest all the time. deadondave.spreadshirt.com for all the merchandise. Make sure you check it out there. And when you get your shirt, tweet a picture to me. Let me know what you guys think. Some people have gone ahead and added me on Skype already. I will be seeing when you're on and maybe calling you in for a minute. But remember, when I call you in, this is not your show. Well, it is. It's your guys' show, too. But you talk for a little while, and then you get the hell on. And that's it. I don't want people contacting me on my real Facebook and telling me about how I need to have them. No. You'll be on when I tell you you're on. And you'll enjoy it. Because I'm giving you more than most people do. Because I love you guys. And I love what you bring to the channel. Once again, make sure you guys are checking out all the comment section below. Because we have the best comment section within the wrestling community. Very little troll action and a hell of a lot of great wrestling comments down there. Very knowledgeable guys. Really proud to have you there. Check out everything that's going on the channel. And all my good friends. Tommy C. over at Shot from the Point. Joe Cronin, The Joe Cronin Show, Jeff Huffman, Grand Slam 87, Spectrum Gaming, 617, Pokemon Pulse, Penis and Uranus, and all of the other great places. Jaron Walker, fuck it, I'll give you a plug too. Small Afro Games, did a great interview with him yesterday. We did like 40 minutes. He asked me all my thoughts on the Royal Rumble. Make sure you check that out. Lots of fun. And that's it. Thank you guys for joining me once again, and I will see you later on, bitches. Peace.